Hi, welcome to Mommas and Mannies. I'm your host, Trina. This is a short form podcast for mamas that are looking for a quick burst of me time. But before we get started, go ahead and hit the like button and share this with another mama that is looking for a quick burst of me time. Or share this episode if you will on your social media. I was trying to think of another way to say that, but on your social media, if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Podcasts, I'm sure there is a button somewhere like a share button, and you can copy the link and put it on your social media. I would definitely appreciate that. Or you could share the link to YouTube, to your Facebook. I don't know about Instagram. I usually share mine to Facebook. We would definitely love that here at Mamas and Mannies. But as always, we're going to start this week off with a motivational quote. This week's motivational quote came from my Tuesday tea that I post every week on Facebook and Instagram. It says, "It's not about winning and losing anymore. It's about letting go of what's not for you." And you can take that in so many different ways, especially if you're a person that always likes to win a fight, be right. You got to have the last word. It's not about that anymore. It's really about letting go of what's not good for you. Or I'm sorry, it's about letting go of what's not for you. So that could be what's negative, what's not good for you, what's not serving you right now. If you're eating a certain type of food that's making you sick all the time, if you are at a job that may not be for you right now and you're actively looking for another job, it may be time to move on. Just different things. It may be time to let go of what is not serving you right now. And if you watch Frozen with your kids, I hope right now in your mind the song Let It Go is playing in the background for you. So just keep that in mind. Before we get to the best part of the episode, it's been a while, probably a few months. I did an episode of a mama time where you could do a flower arrangement. I wanted to display my most recent flower arrangement. It is, and I was just talking to my husband. I don't know how they did this, but I got these 3 roses from the DeKalb Farmers Market here in Metro Atlanta, and they are so pretty. I think sometimes the camera makes things like a different shade, but they're almost like a golden fall color, almost like a leaf if you could get it, that falls from the tree. I asked the lady, how did they get it to be this color? They also have like some pretty, they have ones where the outer petals are like dark brown and the inside is kind of this golden color. She said they use some type of dye, and I guess the flowers end up soaking it up. But when I look a little bit closer, and it's not coming off, so I don't know. I thought they were sprayed, and they may be sprayed, but I just wanted to show this off. It's just 3 roses that have been dyed, sprayed. If you know what they do to them, please comment below and let me know, because I would really love to know how they get them like this. Just being curious. But 3 lovely roses. Me and my daughters were out today, so they told me to get a rose for each one of us. So that's why there are 3. I just wanted to share that quick little beautiful small bouquet of flowers. But guess what time it is? It's mama time. So this week's mama time is going to be a little bit different. A few weeks ago, I was at work just talking to some other moms that have younger kids or kids that are a little bit older or a little bit younger than my 2 girls. And both times the same topic came up. And I think they talked about it earlier in the year, maybe late spring or early summer. I think I saw it like on Good Morning America or something to that nature, or the Today Show. I can't remember which one it was, but they talked about, I don't know if they use this terminology, but the second shift of motherhood. And if you've ever heard of the second shift of motherhood, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't heard of it, it's basically after, and they talked about working moms, but it also can be if you're a stay at home mom, if you work a full time job, part time job, whatever. But what it is after you have worked, whatever that looks like for you throughout the day, 8 to 5, 9 to 5, whatever, you still have to come home and do, it almost feels like a whole nother job. So that means you have to come home, you have to cook, clean, put kids to bed, help kids with homework, get clothes out for the next day, get your clothes out for the next day if you do that in advance, and do all the things that you have to do after you have worked your job. Even if you're a stay at home mom, if you've been at home, if you have been running errands all day, and then once you pick your kids up from school, or when they come home from school, if they ride the bus, you basically have a whole nother, feels like, job to do, or a mommy job to do. And I heard people, like I said, the two or three moms that I was talking to, and they were just like, it's tiring. What do you do? Do you have any tips, tricks? The mom that has the older kids, she was kind of like, my kids won't clean up, or she asked them to do stuff, and then they're kind of hesitant to do it. They're not really, and I don't know what child is really excited to clean their room or to clean the bathroom if they have their own bathroom. So she was just trying to get some tips for that. And then the coworker that has a younger child, she was just kind of like, after working, where do you find time to do other things around the house during the week? So I have worked ever since I've had kids, which my oldest daughter just turned 6 a few weeks ago. So ever since I've had kids, I've always worked on the weekend. I've only worked 3 days a week. Sometimes I may pick up an extra day, 1 or 2 days, but I've always worked an abbreviated schedule. And the only time since my kids have been born, I have worked 5 days a week is when I had to train to work at my current job, because you have to train on day shift to be able to work on the off shifts because they have more people, blah, 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 whatever. And we actually, this was at the beginning of the pandemic. So it was right before the pandemic started, before the shutdowns. We sent both of our daughters, we separated them and sent them to my parents and then to my in law's house. But even then, I was like, I do not understand how people, moms or dads, depending on what your role is, like at home, how they work 5 days a week. And I ask people this all the time that work 5 days a week at work, just trying to figure out how can it be done. It is a lot. And I was working, of course, during the day. You have to fight traffic in the morning. You got to fight traffic in the afternoon. Then you'll have to come home. You'll have to cook, clean, tidy up the house. Clean the house. Like if you got to clean the bathrooms or if you have to wash clothes, just trying to find time to put all that stuff together. I'm like, how can this be done? I just have to give a hand clap to moms right now that are working 5 days a week full time and still doing those things. Now, I think when I was doing that, when I first started my job, I texted my best friend and I was like, how in the world are you doing this? And she was like, it's hard. And she also waits to keep some of the things like washing clothes and some other things just till the weekend. And when I even think back to when my mom was actually working and we were at home, I'm a one of three girls. So she would make us do chores. Like when I was younger, since I was the youngest, I always had to dust on Saturday morning, which I hate dusting right now because I had to do it every Saturday. That's the only thing I could do. And then when I got a little bit older, I was responsible for washing dishes. And I couldn't even tell you what my sisters did. Maybe they were responsible for like vacuuming, cleaning the bathroom, something like that. I don't know, mopping. They were responsible for doing things that big girls could do because I was the youngest. So just thinking about it, and I've just been thinking about it over the last 2 weeks and just trying to think, how could I be of help to moms out there? And I think I was talking to someone else and they were like, can you hire out services? And if you're not able to hire someone to do your laundry, or could you take all your laundry or have it picked up and have someone do your laundry, which means they wash and fold your clothes and then bring them back all nice and neat and sorted. Do you have someone that may be able to come in and clean twice a month or even once a week if you have that in your budget? Do you have someone that's able, and it doesn't necessarily have to be someone, but do you use like meal prep services where someone fix your meals for the week and then all you really have to do is either pop it in the oven or the microwave and dinner is served? So I was just thinking about some of those things that would definitely be a help, especially if you know, Monday through Friday, like I said, you fight traffic in the morning, go to work, fight traffic in the evening, do homework, and then it's basically like time for bed. But if you're able, and then you're able to save all your chores to the weekend, that's one thing you can do and try to get in some mama time throughout just to give you some peace of mind. Or so that would be an option. Hiring, I can't say that word, out services to other people. Another option would be if you could bring someone in while you actually do those things, if you wanted to do that. Because if you have young kids, sometimes it's hard to vacuum, mop, clean, cook with young kids because they want to be on your leg all the time. Or depending on your child, they want to be on your hip all the time. So it's kind of like, what do you do? So could you bring in a sitter once a week or a few times a week to actually, or a nanny to actually keep the kids while you're trying to do those things, or vice versa? Bring in the nanny while she does those things and you spend time with your kids. Like if you want to do homework with them or other activities. And another thing I totally forgot about, if you have where you have to take your kids to do activities, extracurricular activities in the evening, can you hire someone out to do that? So just trying to think about that, but it still almost leaves that stress of just knowing you have to do those things. That's the biggest thing. And how do you alleviate that? I would really love for mamas to really comment, to just give tips and tricks on what they may do to help alleviate some stuff. If you have older kids, do your kids actually help out around the house? Does your husband help out around the house? My husband actually helps out, but it still feels like some stuff I still end up doing, and which is rightfully so because I don't work Monday through Thursday. So it's kind of like, cooking. I understand I would cook more meals. I was trying to think of something else, like doing laundry, because I have more time to do that during the day when I'm actually at home. If I'm well, and I can do laundry while I'm doing other stuff. Like I can do laundry while I'm recording the podcast. I can do laundry while I'm cooking dinner, while I'm doing hair, taking a shower. So laundry can be done while doing other things. So that's just one thing. Asking for help, hiring out help. And then I think another thing really is just putting systems into place. Does that mean on days? So, what I usually do when we take our kids to their extracurricular activities, they have an activity on Monday. They do dance. On Mondays, I don't cook dinner. Or if I am going to cook dinner, I'll cook it like during lunchtime. So it's going to be something really basic and simple that I'll end up cooking So it'll be like some type of protein I can put in the oven, I put in the air fryer. And then it's going to be rice, which is easy to make. And it's going to be some frozen vegetables that I can steam in a bag. So it's definitely going to be something simple that can be done basically in less than 30 minutes and kind of everything can be cooking at the same time. So that's one thing you can do. That's kind of like a boundary that you can put into place. Like on certain days, you don't cook, you don't do anything. That kind of helps you relieve some stress. And if you have older kids and they're able to fix their own sandwiches, they can definitely do that. A few weeks ago, my daughter actually she fixed her own meat and cheese sandwich, and my youngest daughter fixed her own peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So that's something you could also do. So just figuring out things that work for you, or, if twice a month you want to get a sitter to come in so you can get a mani and a pedicure, just leave some comments to let us know what you actually do to alleviate some of that second shift stress, as they call it, where you have worked a full-time job, you've been out all day, and you're really trying to figure out how to relieve some of the stress that you actually have when you come home. So give some ideas. I think I may do a follow-up episode to this just to think of some other ideas that will really help out. And just let us know what you're doing. And as always, remember to hit the bell for notifications so you'll know when we come out with a new episode each week. And remember that me time is essential and it is never selfish. Have a great week, Mama.